This is Star News TV Biafra 1, the best place where you can get through news about everything concerning Biafra. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in court yesterday, being the 21st day of May 2021, and interesting things happened. The DSS denied involvement in Kanu's arrest in Kenya. That was the highlight of the case yesterday. But then so many other things happened which we are going to tell you before we now explain to you what truly transpired in court and how everything played out in respect of DSS denying kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. You know, the court case started and the DSS took over the court area and ensured that nobody came in with their gadgets, phones, and other viewing accessories. They took over the whole court premises, you know, prohibiting phones and other gadgets from entering the court premises. You know, so it was a whole drama. People were not allowed, people were denied entrance, you know, so many things transpired. And then their actions was now boosted by the judge. You know, when the case started, the judge, you know, lamented seriously about people live streaming the court proceedings. And I'm wondering, you know, a high profile case as this is supposed to be, you know, in public view so that everybody are going to see how these things, you know, are, you know, playing out, how the judge takes into consideration some of the presentations of both the defendant and, you know, the prosecuting team, you know, so that everybody would have a proper information about what is transpiring. But they have blocked all those and are trying to make it a secret trial. And so the judge, you know, did something, you know, very, very, I don't know, how would I put it? Is it crazy or so? He went further to accuse Aloy Ejimako, saying that Aloy Ejimako is fond of posting misinformation on social media, and we don't know where that is coming from. So the judge warned seriously and even, you know, put sort of a threat to it by telling him that he shouldn't do things that will cause debarring of a lawyer. What it means is that the barring of a lawyer is that you will be, you know, stripped of your practicing license. You will be stripped of your practicing license. So that was in its own a threat to Aloy Ejimako, and that is why you will notice that he is not making, you know, posts and communicating to the media and all. You know, the judge is trying to now, you know, make it as secret as possible, which is not supposed to be. Information on this case is supposed to be online for people to know actually what is happening. So the cross-examination of the witness, the prosecuting witness named or codenamed BBB, who said he is a DSS officer, continued. And then so many questions came up, and then he denied that DSS are not aware and are not part of the process of arresting or kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and bringing him back to Nigeria. In fact, we are going to let you know how all these things transpired in court. So the cross-examination of the prosecution witness resumed shortly after by Paul Erokoro, who conducted proceedings on behalf of the defense, responding to questions whether the DSS can be influenced by politicians or ministers. The witness stated that the agency is under the office of the National Security Advisor. He also clarified that the Attorney General does not teleguide the operations of the DSS. So when the witness was asked about the mode of intelligence gathering by the DSS, the witness noted that the sources are many, that the sources including humans, it included also social media and many others. So the witness further said that owing to their mode of training, DSS operatives have the capacity to get information where necessary. Then they now probed him further. The witness said he was told by Nnamdi Kanu that he was kidnapped from Kenya and returned to Nigeria in 2021. So this was what the witness was saying, that Nnamdi Kanu told him that he was kidnapped from Kenya and, brought back to Nigeria in 2021. On allegation that the DSS carried out the act, Mr. BBB stated that the agency lacks the powers to effect arrest beyond Nigeria's borders. Now, the witness therefore restated that Kanu, via his radio Biafra broadcasts, incited violence, including during the NSAS protest in 2020. And then the witness added that the defendant expressed readiness to make Biafra possible by all means, including war. So this was what the witness was saying. So Mr. BBB stressed that the inciting comments made by the IPOB leader led to the burning of a police station in Ebonyi State, a Lagos State High Court, and the cargo shed of the Murtala Muhammed Airport in Lagos. At some point during cross-examination, Paul Erokoro sought adjournment, informing the court that there is a video clip that the defense seeks to tender. He asked for some time to make that possible. Meanwhile, the court admitted as evidence certified true copies of judgments of 3 fundamental rights enforcement lawsuits instituted by Nnamdi Kanu. So they admitted the judgment of 3 courts, that of the Umaya. These are those of the Abia State High Court, Federal High Court, Umaya Division, and another by the High Court of Enugu State. So they admitted the judgment passed in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu by these 3 courts. The judge accepted those evidences. Now, just before the commencement of the cross-examination, the trial judge warned against live streaming of court proceedings and negative use of social media in the trial, sounding a note of warning against Aloy Ejimako. Now, this is time for us to bring evidences of truth, forgetting about all the lies going on in court and bringing out the evidence of truth and nothing but the truth. Now, this was a report from December 15th, 2023. Nigeria acted illegally, irresponsibly, bringing Nnamdi Kanu back from Kenya. Supreme Court tells Nigerian government, blames trial court for revoking Nnamdi Kanu's bail. That is what Supreme Court told the government, that they acted illegally, irresponsibly by bringing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back from Kenya. This is part of the judgment of Supreme Court. Now, the Nigerian government, since the DSS is now denying involvement, they will tell us what arm of their law enforcement agency was involved in that illegal act of kidnapping Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, because they didn't follow the legal proceedings of extraditing anyone. So the proceedings of extradition was not followed. So they would explain to us how and who was responsible for that illegal act. Now, this is another video of a representative or the director of Interpol Nigeria, denied knowledge of the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya back to Nigeria. So he denied. So Interpol Nigeria also, long time ago, have denied publicly that they know nothing about the case and the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and bringing him back to Nigeria. They know absolutely nothing. So DSS has denied, Interpol Nigeria have denied. They are going to tell us that agency that did that. Boropoto Gaba Nishiewu very soon.
IG, there are not a few who believe that the pace at which the Interpol International and Interpol Nigeria are working is quite interesting. They point to the fact that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed group, IPOB, it didn't take long for them to grab him from the same Kenya and get him down to Nigeria, and he's facing justice now. That's why is this like a case of we're following process, diplomatic channels, etc., etc.
Believe you me, I want to tell you I don't know what you are talking about. All I know...
You seems not to know exactly what we are talking about here.
No. You are bringing an issue that Interpol is not aware of. You know, let me define the role of Interpol so that you can understand. Interpol is an international police organization that assists law enforcement agencies within the 196 countries to look for a fugitive that runs or is hiding. And if you look at all the other fugitives that are brought to face justice in Nigeria, they have the link, those who are involved with Interpol. So I don't know I don't want to talk about issue of Kanu, who brought him back to Nigeria. I'm not aware how he was brought back to Nigeria or how he comes into Nigeria. Interpol is not aware. We stated this long time ago, and we made it categorically clear. So it's not a question. There are what we call police-to-police relationship, international police cooperation. Another police, it does not necessarily bring Interpol. If one police and another exchange a suspect is running from them, they can have an international police cooperation that out of the scope of Interpol.
Now this is the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, stating clearly, broadcasting to the Nigerian people in Hausa language, not in English, which is the general language, in Hausa language, that they have captured Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So he is going to explain to us who is responsible, who are those that went for that illegal process. Let us listen to him.
Akan wannan muke sanar da mu sanar da ku a wannan yini cewa gwamnatin Najeriya tare da haɗin kan hukumomi na tsaro sun ci nasara ainihin samun Kanu, kuma a sanadiyar haka an ci nasarar dawowa da shi gida Najeriya a sanadiyar gagarumin aiki da ma'aikatan tsaro na Najeriya suka gabatar na ganin da cewa an dawo da shi domin ya fuskanci shari'a wadda.
And so that is what happened in court. That's what transpired in court, and some of the evidences to, support the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So would like you to drop your comment, what you think, your own, perspective of the whole issue as it plays out in court. And then also, if you are a new subscriber here, you're welcome. If you have not subscribed, kindly click on the red subscribe button. It is free to do so, and then share widely. Like the video and also share widely. Thank you for listening. This is Biafra First.